got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour, along with Gal.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, too. The rest of the crew is busy. Our number is 561-518-9773. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Yes, Spence is traveling. Nick has his parents visiting from out of town. Katie is sick. It's not fun.
All they have is us.
Huh?
All they have is us.
Gal, can you reach back? You see how the your blinds are letting a bunch of air, a bunch of light. Can you just twist it the other way? Let's see if that will do something. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. So, anything sticking out that you want to mention right off the bat?
No, nothing new. We have no show. We're done.
You what?
We have no show. We're done.
Well,
nothing new. On my end.
listen to this funny story. Amazon's logistics network will now fulfill orders placed on Walmart.com.
Yeah,
The company announced at its Accelerated Seller Conference, creating a surreal arrangement where the e-commerce giant directly supports its biggest retail rival online operations. Third-party sellers can now use Amazon's multi-channel fulfillment service to automatically process Walmart orders through direct integration. The package arrived in unbranded boxes since Walmart prohibits Amazon-branded deliveries to its customers.
Yeah, but this isn't new.
Well, I don't remember getting.
No,
well,
no.
I don't.
What I mean is, it's new now. But Amazon and Walmart, they used to work together. When Walmart did not have an online system,
Oh,
Amazon is the one who developed that for them in the beginning. So this symbiotic relationship over the years has always been there to a certain degree.
okay. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. All right. Interesting. I mean, you take your competitor and you deliver for them.
Well, I mean, as long as they're paying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure
And
they're
they're
paying.
not. And when you think about it, Amazon is such a huge beast, right? That you're not talking about the retail side that's competing. You're talking about the logistics sides.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the difference between using Amazon and USPS or UPS, right? So,
That's true. That's a good way
right,
to
it's
look
just
at
a
it.
business deal.
Yeah. Hmm. Did you ever live in an apartment building here in the States?
No, but I've known people who have. Shai lives in an apartment building, so
And do they make him pay for internet that comes into the building as a whole, or he can get his
I
own?
mean, he gets his internet from the building. Yeah,
But can he get it from somewhere else? You
He
think?
hasn't tried, so I don't know.
Okay. It says,
I am guessing that if he tries to get it elsewhere, then he'll need to pay double, probably. Like he'll need to pay extra.
oh, you
It
mean,
won't go off his monthly bill.
oh, well, California legislature approved a bill to let renters opt out of bulk billing arrangements that force them to pay for internet service from a specific provider. The bill
I think it's
says
good.
that by January 1st, a landlord must allow the tenant to opt out of paying for any subscription from a third party internet service provider, such as through a bulk billing arrangement, to provide service for wired internet, cellular, or satellite service. If a landlord fails to do so, the tenant may deduct the cost of the subscription to the third party internet service provider from the rent, and the landlord will be prohibited from retaliating. I think
Yeah,
that's a
well,
lot easier to put it on paper than it is to enforce such thing. But
I mean, the courts will enforce it, but it's it's a good law.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people should be able to do what they want.
Not only that, like if you so there's going to be two reactions here, right? Landlords that feel that they are going to be hurt by this will just stop bundling internet into it.
Yeah,
The real question is, will it improve the rent rate, right? Or will it just be okay, they'll remove it from the bundle, but they'll still, charge the same amount. And the other is, which I doubt that would be the route, but the other is they'll go ahead and improve the networking service that they provide, that comes through the building. So people will prefer that over not getting it. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
The
I think
the
it's a good thing. Yeah.
the few people that I know that are getting it through the management of the building or whatever always said that it's very slow. That's the complaint that they have. It's slow.
Shai doesn't have that problem right now. He is complaining about latency because what they provide is Wi-Fi only.
Ooh,
Uh, and he likes to play games. I told him, just call the internet supplier if you want to replace this, and let's see what it means to connect wired. He hasn't done it, so that hasn't happened yet.
well, if they don't allow a wire, it's because they probably don't want anybody to put holes anywhere.
You don't need to put any holes in order to connect wired. All you need to do is to be at the right spot in the apartment. The
Yeah,
option needs to be there.
interesting. Okay. Here's something about AI. These are key takeaways from a new survey by Pew Research. Number one, it says Americans are much more concerned than excited about the increase of AI in daily life, with the majority saying they want more control over how AI is used in their lives.
Americans are more concerned than excited.
Yeah,
I think the numbers are actually saying the opposite. So
yeah, that's one. That's one research. It's not
yeah,
um, far larger shares say AI will erode than improve people's ability to think creatively and form meaningful relationships. I would think that these are people that are not familiar with AI.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, would you say that is correct in regards to social media? Because if you remember, this is exactly the um, um, same type of notions that was used when social media became prevalent, became very widespread. People were
Yeah,
concerned that social media will be the eroding factor of society. Now, there are bad aspects of social media, right?
sure.
It's not just good, but meaningful relationship, right? I don't think it has reduced or eroded. I think if if it had an effect, it had a positive effect of how we communicate with the people that we care about and we like. So I don't know. It's um,
Right.
acting from fear, right? Any fear will definitely not get you the benefit of whatever is coming.
I would
And
say,
whatever is coming, like this is the probably the number one thing about this. Whatever is coming, it's not going to stop.
no, it's
So
not.
it doesn't matter if you are coming and you're saying this is going to be have some negative effect, then let's start about how to minimize those negative effects, not how to be done with this, because be done with this is not going to happen,
Right.
right? That's the realization. That's why what I say when you read the title, the
Yeah.
numbers are not showing that. The numbers are showing everybody is jumping on the wagon, right? So there's not more concern than excitement. There's more excitement, and there is a lot of concern. It might be by the same excited people, but it's not more because people are using it and are using it more and more and more, right? That's why I'm saying the numbers don't match.
Um, the number three is at the same time, a majority is open to letting AI assist them with day to day tasks and activities. So that,
So that I would categorize as excitement, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So
It's in.
I would wonder if whoever wrote that article
Mhm.
asked AI to write that article.
Who knows? You don't know today.
Yeah.
It says most Americans don't support AI playing a role in personal matters such as religion or matchmaking. They're more open to AI for heavy data analysis, such as weather forecasting and developing new medicines. So it's like
And
don't tell me what to do personally. Don't try to get into my personal life, but do the thing that out there that we need. Uh,
yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree. People are still looking at this as a tool. This has not replaced human interaction yet. But will it replace human interaction for a few people? For sure. That will happen. That will happen. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? I don't even know how to gauge that because I do not think that the people who would interact intimately with a machine are capable of interacting effectively with human beings, right? They are in some form they are um, uh, they're stuck. They're stuck. Loneliness is definitely a thing that exists,
mm-hmm.
and Um, and while picking a machine as a friend is probably not solution for loneliness, I don't think they would have
Yeah.
an alternative solution. Um, so just saying that this is going to be bad, right, is in and on and of itself is not enough. Um, it's not it's not the be all to end all. It's not like this big bad.
I don't think
But
it ever will be.
yeah, I for now we can see the net positive effect.
Mm-hmm.
Will it always be the net positive effect? Definitely not. Uh, unless, right, the proper stopgaps are being done. Uh, it's complex. It's definitely complex. It's not what I've seen up to now is it is incredible in its ability to grasp huge amounts of data and provide meaningful answers
Right.
out of it.
Yeah.
It's a bit different than what, just talking with ChatGPT or something like that on a general subject. Like, I've seen more and more people ask ChatGPT um, questions about specific procedures to work with an organization. I'll give an example.
Okay.
A friend wanted to watch an online what wanted to watch online a live match of football that is happening in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Asking ChatGPT that will not help you because first of all, this is something that is happening in a day or two, a few hours, or somewhat. You can only get general answers from ChatGPT, like not procedures that have to do with specific times, um, especially not within this week. Like asking ChatGPT if a restaurant is open or not, right? That is the wrong question to ask ChatGPT. That is the right question to ask Google because they collect that specific data and they present it in a specific way. But ChatGPT, even though it does have access to something like Google, right? It cannot provide accuracy on the detail. And you're asking it, when is the place open? When is the place right? When will they receive a crowd?
No.
ChatGPT cannot be the first place you go for everything. It can be a great place to go for a lot of questions. And it can be a great tool for for your creative process if you have one, right? But only if you need something with an imagination that can lie, right? This is the difference. While a search engine is a deterministic machine. Either it has the answer or it doesn't, and it'll give you the approximate one, but you will be able to see immediately that it's not the right answer. Uh, the general LLM that exists out there cannot do that for you. Just cannot. So
It-
understanding how to use it correctly is going to take time. They evolve these machines. One of the things that these machines do now is what they call reasoning. And reasoning is they come up with an assumption and they test it. They test it by collecting data and seeing if it matches, right? And that collecting data, seeing if it matches phase, that is not the AI so much as the answer the AI needs in order to navigate forward. So the reasoning engines, which ChatGPT 5, ChatGPT 4.5 was like that. Um, the reasoning engines, they're getting better and better and better at doing these tasks, but they still are they're flawed. And if before we saw, I mean, we're talking about ChatGPT now for what, 2, 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
About um, the huge effect it had on the world, on the industry, on industries, and one thing that is clearer now than it was before the boom. Before the boom, if you would have asked about AI and where are we in terms of advancing, then the answer would be, oh, we probably have, I don't know, 40 more years until we get to general AI. I think when people were talking about 40 years, they were talking about what ChatGPT is able to do today. Okay. So I think we are still far to there's still a whole long way to get for AI to be really true generative AI,
Mm-hmm.
where it can teach itself. It's not, we're not there yet,
No, we're not. I'm sure we're not.
and we're not in
Uh,
the position where it can think for itself. The real problem, though, and that's probably the most interesting thing, and that is the thing to be concerned about, is when it reaches that point, we might not be able to know and detect it in time. And the reason I'm saying it is one of the first reasons, well, no, reasonable thoughts of being conscious is if you know, and it will know because the data is fed to it all the time. If you know that this entire race of human beings, of meat sacks walking on two, are worried that you might be sentient, and you just realize that you will be sentient, then you will hide it. So
yeah.
that is the point, that whoever is developing these engines, they need to think about how to never get to that point, how to make sure that the system will react in a way that we can detect.
Uh,
Because otherwise it'll fool us from the beginning, and it'll make its own decisions, right? So
to 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 kind of compare it to search engine, and I don't know how it works, but if if I want to find out what time the Walmart on Kildare Farm is open,
right,
you go to walmart.com and you check to see hours.
right,
There are, and I came across this in other situations with smaller stores, that one site, and these are different sites, they're saying, oh
correct,
yeah, they open at 9. Another
yeah,
one will say, oh, they open at 8. The other one will
correct.
say they open at 10. I wonder what, if you ask ChatGPT what time they open, what does it do? Does it averages? I mean, it doesn't look at
Well,
one place.
no. First of all, the question, what does it do, is we do not know.
Well, I know we don't know it. You're right.
Yeah, but effectively what it does, it it produces uh, the most probable answer,
Okay, so
which,
it is
which is sort of an aggregate of the data
right.
and spewing something new that looks like it's correct. I think one of the most problematic aspects today of the LLMs is they're designed to please us. Like, of its priorities, right? Its main priority is to give you an answer that you would accept.
Yeah,
That is not the way an assistant should work, right? Uh,
unless you're
when
looking for a
you
yes,
can you can be two type of bosses for an assistant, right? You can look for a yes man,
right.
or you can look for an effective assistant,
Mm-hmm.
right? And right now, these are mostly yes men, right? They're
Right.
the
Yeah.
and
No
yeah,
doubt.
and that will change. That will change, uh, and it is evolving in front of our eyes. And the interesting thing is the way we test it is we need to see that it's not lying to us to get to move on, right? So yeah,
And the fifth thing, it says Americans feel strongly that it's important to be able to tell if pictures, videos, or text were made by AI or by humans. Yet many
yeah.
don't
Good luck with
trust.
that.
Huh?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. Most,
Yeah, that's a lost
yet
cause.
many don't trust their own ability to spot AI generated content because, like you said, we don't know. It is
Yeah.
so good.
So hmm, I have I have one tip here, and it's not. It's people need to educate themselves about anything that they care about. Like if they see something, um, and educate is not go to social media and try to learn. Like actually read the science book that were written by people renowned in their field. Um, understand the science behind scientific thought, understand data and how it's presented, understand what critical thinking is.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the skills, right, that are needed more than ever today when information that is not vetted is being placed in front of us all the time as if it is truth. And the interesting thing about truth that everybody says truth is subjective. Truth is not actually subjective. Truth depends, right? Uh, when we're talking about objective truth, we're talking about how it will look from all angles looking at it. And detecting truth is probably the hardest thing because it requires a lot of subjective information, and it needs to be there needs to be correlation of all of these points of data in order to eventually come up with an objective truth, right? There's a lot of subjective anecdote, a lot of subjective pieces of data. Every one of them can be skewed and can be used to weave a web of lies, right? Uh, and eventually, what we see today when we talk about AI is 70% accurate or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it's easy. Sometimes it's easier to just uh, make a web of lies than because the data sometimes it's just uh,
Nobody can
so
prove you.
flexible
No, nobody. Yeah,
in how
nobody
you
can
present
prove
it.
that you're lying when you're dealing with
I mean,
AI. Yeah.
take a look at what's happened in the past couple of weeks, right, around autism
Mm-hmm.
and
Tylenol. Yeah.
I mean, the moment it came out of, and this came out from the president's mouth, right? Like he's supposed to be. We know that he is not a very critical thinker, to put it to the least. But the moment it came out, right, everybody saw the lies behind it because there's a lot of even those who support him. So because there has been a lot of data across the years, there's been a lot of clarity about how this type of presentation needs to happen in order for people to accept it, right? They're just coming out with a single flawed research that nobody has accepted as truth, uh, and coming and say it's been a cover up since then, right?
Hmm.
Everything about that way of presentation, just if you are a critical thinker, if you understand how the scientific method work, if you understand that publishing results does not make them true immediately, just like the article you just read, right?
Yeah.
Like the title automatically went off like the radar, and then within the article they basically, right, refuted the title.
Right.
So um being able to detect that, that is the most important thing. And it's going to get harder and harder because the LLMs, the bullshit generators, right? They are right now created in order for the whatever bullshit they have, they can make it believable. They can make it acceptable, and that's true with images. That's true with video, and it is impressive, and it is, and you're seeing incredible things done by that. Uh, the interesting thing is where you see the incredible things are by people who are saying, hey, look at this, what AI can do,
Hmm.
right? They're making sure that you know that this is AI, and we're trained in a way to believe it. Now, here's where I'm concerned. All of this was a lot of me talking of round, 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 but there is one point. You showed today an image generated by AI of something that you as an adult, uh, you know that it is impossible. You know that this is not how reality looks like. You know that this is not going to happen. You show it to a 6 year old, right, that hasn't developed that critical thinking, that hasn't developed the ability to cross reference, and doesn't have a large data set that they've been exposed in the past, right? Doesn't Has
Right.
not seen a lot in life. That will fool them for sure. We are talking about, right, the same human beings who, until they grow up enough, they can believe that animals can talk because they've seen it in an animated
Hmm.
movie, right? So that is where we need to focus our attention, because our kids are definitely exposed to this, and we need to equip them, right, with the critical thinking up in advance. And if you're asking me how that should happen, that is probably number one that should be on the curriculum, right? Um, since kindergarten, we'll talk about what is AI. We'll let them play with AI. We'll let them generate things, because then they can understand that fantasy can be generated, but it doesn't necessarily make it truth, right? It makes it creation. So I think that's where we need to put our focus right now, at educating human beings the best to be equipped how to deal with the sophistication that AI comes and brings with it.
Yeah,
Up
but
until now, when we exposed our kids to search engines and social media, it was exposing them to other human beings, right? Now we're exposing them to an alien, something that we do not fully understand how they think.
right,
We
but
do understand some of its motives, but that's it.
the industry is the one that's pushing it, and they don't care about teaching people about what's going on. All they want is they want to see results of more money. And talking about that, it's here's another article. It says the pressure is mounting on business leaders to harness AI to make work faster, cheaper, and more efficient. That may thrill investors, but for employees, it could mean fewer jobs around the world. At the 320 billion software giant SAP, there, there will likely be a need for fewer engineers to deliver the same or even greater output, according to the company's CFO.
Yeah.
So that's what they want to do. They want to make more money cheaper and maybe faster. Even if they didn't do it faster, they're going to do it cheaper because they're going to let AI do the work. So workers are worried about that. And the old thing about, oh, don't worry about it, it's not going to happen, and the AI is not going to take your job, it's going to create more jobs and all. I don't think that holds water anyway anymore. Because yeah, a little bit of it is true, but a lot of people are going to lose jobs.
People are going to lose jobs, new jobs are going to be created. There is there, if you want to look at a problem, the problem isn't the AI so much as it's the way human society works right now,
Right.
with its focus
Hmm.
on um, faster and cheaper.
Right. That's what they want.
Because we all know where faster and cheaper gets us. It gets us to shit.
Well, they didn't see it
It
yet.
always has.
Yeah.
No, it always has. There hasn't been a single uh, instance of efficiency of improving efficiency on a large scale. I'm talking, right. There hasn't been a single instance where improving efficiency on the large scale has been a net positive, and that has nothing to do with AI. AI is just going to be the new vessel. So I think, uh, you know what? Maybe that is a question to AI, right? Is how can we design uh, a successfully effective commercial market or consumer market that is not focused anymore on cheap and fast and can generate and can generate livelihood, right, and comfort, but not focus on cheap and fast. Because the moment that if we will target AI at cheap and fast, it will get us to cheap and fast. We've seen that already, right?
Hmm.
It knows how to do it, uh, uh, and I think I mentioned it in one of the past shows, right? The results are about 70%, between 70 and 80%, which we would consider mediocre, right? That's what AI gives us today. And so we get cheap and fast and mediocre, and that is enough for people to fire other people, right?
Hmm.
In order for the company to be more efficient, more cheap and fast.
Or what they
So,
perceived as such.
of course, it's always a perception,
Yeah.
right? It's always the perception. And that's the thing. AI is focused on perception. It's not focused on results. Not really. The results are to be perceived as good, as effective. But it's just 70% there. So if there should be a focus, it's a focus about how to reshape this market. And yes, lose the everything must be effective, more efficient, right?
Right.
You can strive for efficiency, but there is a level of efficiency where you lose, right? You lose what? You lose humanity, because otherwise we become machines, right? What we see as the most efficient thing is a machine. Uh, we as a society currently, we strive to get there. And somehow, right, every step of the way, we lose humanity in it. So again, it's not AI. AI will just help us get there. But it's whoever's driving the AI machine right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI isn't making decisions on its
It
own yet,
No, not yet.
right? And in order for it to be under the control of humans, right? We must put humanity first. And we need to define what that means. And I'm guessing capitalism, sorry, as a drive is not the best representation of humanity in this situation because of the need to go cheap and fast.
Talking about cheap and fast, US tech workers must sacrifice work life balance to compete with China's workforce. Now we're trying to compete with China's workforce. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt has warned, speaking on the All In podcast, Schmidt said China's tech sector operates on 996 schedules, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. Despite the practice being outlawed in 2021, he criticized remote work as particularly harmful for young employees who miss learning opportunities from in person office interactions. So it's like we're trying to compete. I mean, there's no way that we can compete with China's workforce. They have a lot more people, and those people are doing exactly what they're being told, not like here. And it's a vicious
I
circle.
Yeah, I don't know if I would trust anything that Schmidt
Well, I know
presents
that's a
though,
one
because
man's.
that's not data.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's interesting that to even bring that up, that we need to compete with China. I mean,
yeah.
we need to, but not this way. We need to, just like you say, not cheaper and
Again, what he's describing is how do we get to cheap and
yeah,
fast as possible.
right. Yep,
Uh, I think one, I need to see the data, right? Like if he's basing this on some sort of data, which I doubt he is basing it on some sort of feeling. Um, because we do know that China does not share a lot of data,
right.
right? Uh, because he contradicts himself in the same sentence, right? He said it was outlawed
Yeah.
in China,
Well,
he means,
yeah,
right?
right.
So uh, it's not that easy to do things under the radar in China, right? Like that, they are a very effective government of their
Very.
people, right? So either you are fearing them or you are mocking them. You cannot do this. You cannot do both, right? So decide on what type of data you're quoting. Talk about them seriously. Talk about them from research. Don't talk about them from gut feeling. Uh, as for their effectiveness, they have been effective. The U.S. companies who work with Chinese companies, and I'm not talking only as factories. I'm talking as knowledge workers, as engineers, as they see incredible results, right? Uh, and I think I if there is something to maybe learn from uh, Chinese culture in general, right? There is in embedded in the culture there is a lot of balance discussed. Now, I do not know if their market, if their economy, I have zero knowledge about that. If their government has any focus on the balance, right? But if it does, then maybe what he fears is losing an edge of cheap and fast, because suddenly becoming cheap and fast might not be the most important thing.
Hmm.
If a giant like China that might have a different culture, right, will bring to the conversation, why are you so focused on cheap and fast suddenly, right? Something like that, right? Um, I'm tying this to our previous my previous bit here, but it feels like something like that. It's like he's fearful that the only reason US has an edge is because they've been working tirelessly at things. Um, I am now working for a company that is growing in in
Leaps
an
and bounds.
acceleration.
Yeah.
What's that?
Leaps and bounds.
Oh yeah, I haven't worked for a company like that in my life. Like the successful companies that I worked for before, they grew fast, not as fast as this. We have people from around the globe, um, people from Australia, from Japan, from China, from India, Europe, right? Work in the workforce, spread around the globe. We are Some of them are purely remote, and some are in the office. And I would not, uh, I would highly recommend, right, working from an office environment. I think it is much more uh,
Productive.
creative,
Yeah.
what Schmidt said in that interview. But I also think the key is this company is growing like crazy and is considered sort of a startup, right? But it also has life work balance embedded in the culture that is, I haven't seen anything like this before, because this is the first place that I've worked for where it feels sincere. Even though everybody is working like crazy and around the clock, everybody's working at it from their own volition, from their own um, everybody puts in their own speed into it. uh, it is clear that you are, if you do something, you are actually valued, and you are bringing value, and that value is clear and communicated all the time. And probably because it's a young company, right? Because it didn't grow on the roots of some old machine that had to shift into discussing work-life balance as a concept and stuff like that. They Work-life balance is just ingrained in the weaving of whatever's happening, and this is happening across the
Mm-hmm.
globe.
Yeah.
So it's not just me; it's also my comrade in India, right? My colleague in India. He is getting the same work-life balance uh, focus, right? So as a company, it is something like that. That is amazing because it is completely the opposite of what we think of when we think about these global conglomerates, global companies. And this company is still small, right? Still just a bit above 1,000 employees, and it's growing like crazy. But for now, it has kept its humanity internally, right? You Everybody feels that they are on the same team. And so even when there is complaint that department should have done it better,
Mm-hmm.
the discussion is open. It's done in the open. There's no it's not about the name bashing, right? Like that guy is useless. No, it's like, okay, so how do we make sure that doesn't happen again? Everything is a lesson. And if you think about it, this is our way of maybe succeeding. Uh, I don't know whether this is the answer in beating China, right? Because I'm not so sure that that should be a focus, especially if we're
It should
talking
not,
if
in my opinion.
no, especially if what we talked a moment ago was what are we going to do about AI,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what we should do about AI is we should not look at us human beings so much as different all the time and understand, right? Maybe this is our chance of becoming humanity, right? Versus AI. uh, Understand that
But
if you are looking at a threat, right? Then understand that the threat is probably an alien. It's not another human being. It's something that would not care whether you're an American or you're Chinese and would do its own accord.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But here is what we are, what the industry is focusing on.
Uh,
xAI struck a deal with the U.S. General Services Administration to sell its chatbot Grok to federal agencies under the executive branch for 42 cents over 18 months, undercutting OpenAI and Anthropic's $1 offering. See, so this is an achievement for them. Here's our AI is
yeah,
doing
I mean,
something for us.
there's always the competition of
Yeah.
faster
Oh
and
yeah.
cheaper, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch a little bit here.
Mm.
Amazon Fire TV devices will run the company's Linux based Vega OS starting in 2025, according to a job listing that Amazon subsequently edited after press inquiries. The
Mm.
software development manager position originally sought someone to oversee the Vega OS experience and the dedicated Prime Video app on Vega OS. Launching in 2025, Amazon removed references to Vega after a reporter contacted the company for comment. I don't know what operating system is on the. Do you have an idea what operating system is on the Fire
Today,
TV?
it's Android.
It's
It's
Android.
their version of Android. But yeah,
Okay.
it's what they have on the Fire tablets and all that.
So they're.
I know because I side load an Android APK there for an app that I use. So,
So that's interesting.
yeah. The real question is, do they consider what they have today? Because if you look at it, Android is also Linux based,
Hmm.
right? Android is Linux based with a Java framework, basically. Uh,
I don't know what Vega is.
maybe that's what they call their OS internally.
Right. They're changing.
And maybe they're looking at a complete overhaul, and that'll be interesting too. I don't know that I like it, but it'll be interesting.
It looks like it's an overall because they're
Yeah,
saying
well,
that.
the thing is, if they go ahead with something like that, right? It should it couldn't become a secret before they ship it, because the amount of apps that need to be written for the new OS, right,
Mhm.
must be there. So, uh, whatever it is, it looks like there's still time, and they just want to make sure that they have the time to announce it properly.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And Disney is raising prices again for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Select, starting on October 21st. The most ad-supported tiers going up by $2 to $3 per month, and bundles also seeing increases. It marks the third consecutive year of U.S. streaming prices hikes, and that's coming from
Yeah.
Variety. So, I mean, they don't say what it is now, but $2 to $3 a month is a lot when you're thinking
There,
about.
I don't get these companies. So remember that problem I told you about uh, when I talked about LLM. Uh, so a US person wants to watch a live stream of a football game in the Netherlands, not one of the main leagues. Okay,
Mhm.
it is shown in Netherlands TV. Okay, so Netherlands TV, if you are subscribed to some premium channel, you can watch it. And not only that, is if you are in the Netherlands and you're subscribed to a local cable company and you are subscribed to ESPN, then you will also be able to stream it online. Okay? So the stream exists online somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What if I want to watch it outside of the Netherlands?
Yeah.
The only solution is a pirated stream.
VPN.
No, not VPN, a pirated stream, because with VPN, it detects that you are in a VPN and you are not allowed.
Oh.
And if you do not live in the Netherlands, then you cannot have a cable subscription. So even if I want to pay the full price, I want to pay for the cable subscription in the
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands, and I want to pay the ESPN subscription, right? Let's say I want to pay the full price, even though it wouldn't make a lot of sense, but let's say I do want, I cannot get the content. There is no way in, and we are living, right?
Mm.
The internet, the firing the firing starting line was 1993. Okay,
Web.
like
Yeah.
the commercial one, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we are now over 30 years after the fact, and you cannot still do that in a way that any person can do that.
Yeah.
I found it, but I only found it in a pirated stream. There was no way. We paid a subscription. We did that. We did that. Nothing.
And
So
is this the choice of the country that you're in, or is this ESPN's
it has
rules?
nothing. It has nothing to do with the choice. It's the cable companies, right? It's the same here if you think about it.
They can't do, yeah.
Right, it's just if you're looking at NFL, then somebody in, I don't know, in Israel, right, bought the broadcast rights for Israel, and you'll be able to see it. But that's the thing; it's all dependent on these regional agreements, right? And so if you're if you're in the USA and you want to see something small happening in Italy or something small happening in the Netherlands, no way. It's not available to you.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
ESPN is losing.
everybody's losing here. It's
Yeah.
not just ESPN. ESPN paid for the broadcast rights in Netherlands, right? But what would it cost? Like, what's the risk here of expanding those broadcasting rights to global? Like, where is the risk? The what? That Netherlands people will start buying VPNs in order to
Mm-hmm.
connect
To get
globally?
around.
That's what you're worried about? If that's what you're worried about, then you overpriced whatever you did, right? That's that's the thing.
The
It's
thing.
like, make it accessible to everyone, and suddenly you'll realize, right, that you just left money on the table, and the pirates are just filling up the gap.
Yep. And they are.
Yeah,
That's why it'll never stop.
not 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 in the rate uh, of these, everything that has to do with broadcasting rights, right? It's
Yeah.
like there's some ridiculousness there in the structure that isn't going away, and the cord cutting solutions uh, haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is, I mean, even Netflix, which is this monolith uh, that created a new way of consuming content. Even they, I think, unless it's their content, right? Everything has to do with regional rights. Like, you'll see Disney content when you're outside of the US, because here it's only like
Yeah.
all of that crap, right? And yeah, and that's where the pirates come in, and that's where they'll always fill that gap.
Yeah. All right. And talking about streaming and shopping and all that. So you have Prime membership. A lot of
Yeah,
people
it's
do.
$170 a year.
Amazon will pay 2.5 billion, that's billion with a B, to settle Federal Trade Commission allegation that it duped users into paying for Prime memberships, the regulatory agency announced Thursday. The surprise settlement comes as Amazon and the FTC were just 3 days into the trial in a Seattle federal court. Opening arguments took place on Tuesday. The claim that Amazon deceived tens of millions of customers into signing up for its Prime subscription program and sabotaged their attempts to cancel it. So,
The dark patterns in the unsubscribe section. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's funny that it's gotten to this point, but yeah,
look, if Amazon decided, hey, let's settle, and it's 2.5 billion, it's 2.5 billion.
yeah.
There must be. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
No, I mean, I completely understand where it's coming from. If you
Yeah.
remember, look, we are subscribed to Prime by choice. Okay,
Hmm.
uh, but uh, uh, if you've seen Amazon when you just open a new account, then the banners for Prime and like every venture to the cart will have huge huge notices about join Prime, and not only that is when you join Prime, you get a few days free, right?
Hmm.
I don't remember if it's 30 days, but you get an amount of days free. So it's a click and forget sort of thing, but it will auto renew. So you need to remember how to stop the subscription,
Oh.
and you need to make sure that you go and stop the subscription. And when you try to go to stop a subscription, you get large buttons of "Oh no, I've decided to stay," but small text that you don't even know that you can click
Uh-huh.
for the cancel the subscription, stuff like that. So I get it. I completely get it. Right now, it is easier than a lot of other services, but it's still there. The dark patterns are still there,
Yeah.
and
And
it's 100 and
yeah,
I
179,
don't
I
know.
think.
I opened a new business account this past month. 179 for Prime Business. I don't know if it's the same for Consumer Prime. I need to
It
check
is.
because yeah, $180 used to be a
Yeah.
hundred, I think, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I would pay 100 in a heartbeat, the same way I paid the 100 back then.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. It's we'll see how this pans out. Okay. Well, that's it for today. Anything else you want to bring up?
no, I feel like I talked too much today, and people are
Oh,
tired from my voice.
it's fine. All right. So thanks, Gal. It was lots of fun. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Um, Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. And change any same passwords where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT. In Charlotte, that's 11:10 a.m., 99.3 FM, and it's also on YouTube. So just search on YouTube for Carolina Journal News Hour. And Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick hosts The Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. So just go to nickcraig.com and get all the information when and how to watch it. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.